Well, it's time for another review. I realize I'm way too casual for it, so I think it's time we get down to business. There we go. Now let's get into this review. So today we are here to discuss the collaboration with Ross over at TLTG and Zaharoff. This fragrance is called Business Over Pleasure. This is what I will be going off of for the review. These are the sample vials that came when you purchased either the Siren and or Brass and Soul. You got Business Over Pleasure, and when you purchased, whichever bottles you purchased, you got samples of the other fragrances. And I threw it into this 5 ml decant that you see I put a pretty decent dent in, so this way I knew basically what I was going to get into, know the vibe of it, although I kind of already did based off of Ross's video when he described it. So here's the deal. Those who know me know I love my dense fragrances. I love my fragrances that are bold, have a lot of tonka, which this has tonka in the note breakdown. But this fragrance isn't necessarily one of my favorite. It isn't a bad fragrance by any means, but it's not a fragrance that I normally would gravitate towards. It's more fresh. It leans more in the somewhat blue category. It has florals going on with it too. I'm not the biggest fan of florals outside of rose and the occasional neroli here and there, maybe a little bit of jasmine, but that's it. That's as far as we're going. This is a fragrance that you start off with this bright like citrus, kind of spicy, semi-powdery because there is a lot of iris. This isn't a super iris bomb, but this is a predominantly iris fragrance with some like lily of the valley, a little bit of woods, and some musk. That's basically the gist of what I'm getting. I know when he listed everything in his video, again, he mentioned tonka. I didn't really get that, and I didn't really get the array of woods or spices that were in the note breakdown, but it's basically a kind of fresh, powdery, clean, woodsy floral, if you will, like a woody floral aromatic type of vibe. Ideally for anyone who is 18 and up, I think that's a safe range, you know, just into college with your first semi possibly professional job, spring, summer for sure, office 365 if you have some sort of like office job or dental hospital job that you need like a safe clean fragrance. This would work for that. Projection for me, not the best. To be honest, I got like a 6 to 8 inch radius for a solid 3 hours. I mean, it was a close encounter fragrance. Overall, the whole fragrance lasted about 5 hours in total, but those final 2 were definitely up there. This was a fragrance that it just left me wanting a little bit more personally. It's not a bad fragrance by any means. It is not a bad fragrance. It actually reminds me of a fragrance I really enjoy, but is discontinued in Dior Homme Eau. And I do enjoy this fragrance because I enjoyed that fragrance. It has a lot of similarities. The thing was Dior Homme was a little bit more deeper. It lasted a little bit longer. It projected and performed a little bit better. You got a little bit more of the breakdown. They actually have similar notes when you even look at it, which is crazy. But you get a little bit more of those transitions, a little bit more than what I felt I got out of this. This is a fragrance you do need to check out, especially since Dior Homme is discontinued. But it is limited and it is kind of hard to get because of the limited run that it has. So if you want to get it, you should definitely get it now. I would advise you to definitely go ahead and get the, you know, pull the trigger on it if you liked something like Dior Homme, or if you like the like Versace Pour Homme vibes, you know, stuff in that wheelhouse. You should definitely check this fragrance out. Let me know your comments, your thoughts on business over pleasure down below. This fragrance didn't necessarily garner me any attention outside of me asking people what their thoughts were, which they found it to be pleasant. So there was that. But let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts were, and we'll be reviewing more fragrances and I'll be giving my unaverage thoughts on them. So thank you all for watching. Until next time, I'll see you all later.